Imagine a huge global story, a real tragedy, but one where it's not just about the devastation. There's this incredible and, frankly, pretty unexpected human story right at the center of it all.
Exactly.
That's where we're going today. We're looking into the crash of Air India Flight 171, what happened right after, and, well, the really surprising complexities that popped up, especially around the only person who survived.
Yeah.
And to really get into it, we've pulled together quite a bit of material. We've got detailed fact checks from Alt News. You know, they're known for being super thorough.
Very rigorous.
Right. And then updates on the investigation from CBC, and also this really personal, quite moving account from India today.
So our goal here, really, is to get past those initial flashy headlines. We want to help you understand the whole situation. The hard facts of the crash itself, how the story around the survivor kind of shifted, what the investigators are actually doing, and maybe critically, just how fast bad information, misinformation can spread these days. We'll dig into the what happened, but also the why it matters.
Yeah.
Sort of a shortcut for you to get properly informed.
Okay, great. So let's start with the core facts of the accident. June 12th, 2025, Air India 171, it was a Boeing 787 Dreamliner heading to Gatwick, crashed in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. And it wasn't, out in a field. It came down right into the BJ Medical College, a really built-up area, barely 30 seconds after taking off.
And the scale, it was just awful. The first report said 241 people on board, passengers and crew, all lost.
Yeah.
But then, tragically, it turned out many people in the medical college buildings were also killed. So the total death toll climbed to at least 270. It's one of the worst air disasters we've seen in a long time. Just horrific.
It's devastating. And yet, amidst all that, there was this one person, Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, a 40-year-old British national, Indian origin. He survived, miraculously, really. He was in seat 11A, an emergency exit row.
Incredible. One person out of all those.
Right. So the shockwaves from the crash itself were immediate, obviously. But then something else started happening pretty fast. Videos of Vishwas Kumar Ramesh started doing the rounds online.
Yeah.
The first one, you probably saw it. Lots of news outlets shared it. It just showed Ramesh, kind of dazed, walking out of a gate with smoke in the background. Pretty straightforward, you might think.
Okay.
But then it got really weird. A different video went viral. The second one showed Ramesh walking towards the crash site, which was, fully ablaze, and then somehow walking out of it again later.
Okay, wait. Towards the fire?
Towards the fire.
Wow. Well, you can guess what happened next.
Yeah.
That second video just lit up social media. X, Instagram, everywhere. People were completely baffled, right?
Totally.
Questions flying like, why is the survivor walking into the fire and then coming back out? Lots of comments suggesting something fishy was going on, or, this is the real story they're not showing us.
Exactly. We saw stuff like, seriously, is this for real?
Yeah, or bit confused. How's that possible? I can't believe this. The narratives people spin from just a tiny clip. It's kind of mind-boggling sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder if controversy is just more appealing.
It really does make you stop and think, okay, hang on, what did happen? And that's where Alt News came in. They did one of their really deep dives, fact-checking these clips meticulously.
Good. How did they do it?
Well, they broke down the videos frame by frame, ran reverse image searches, you know the drill, and they painstakingly put together the sequence of events using lots of different videos people had shot at the scene. It's that kind of careful behind-the-scenes work that's just so vital.
Absolutely crucial. And what did they find? Did they confirm he was actually on the flight?
Yeah. First things first, they absolutely confirmed that. Vishwas Kumar Ramesh was definitely on Flight 171. Passenger lists, boarding pass details, loads of media outlets had already published that stuff. That wasn't really in dispute among officials.
Okay, so that base fact is solid.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the video of him walking towards the fire?
Right. So their deeper look revealed something, well, actually quite heartbreaking. It turns out Ramesh first walked out of the crash site, basically when hardly anyone was around yet. He was safe, though obviously shocked.
Okay.
But then he tried to go back into the burning wreckage. Not just once, but twice.
Twice? Why?
He was desperately looking for his brother, Ajay Ramesh. His brother was on the same flight, sitting right across the aisle in 11J. Can you even imagine the instinct to run back into that inferno?
Oh, my God. That puts a completely different light on it.
Wow.
So that viral video...
the one showing him walking towards the flames, that was actually his first attempt to go back in. Alt News figured this out by matching details like, at that point, there was a scooter parked near a wall. Only a few people were there.
Okay.
Then he tried to go back in a second time, a bit later. By then, more people had gathered. The scooter was gone. Even a dog that was seen earlier wasn't there anymore. People actually had to shout at him, pull him back.
Wow, just frantic desperation.
Exactly. And the person who helped get him away that second time was identified by BBC India as Satinder Singh Sandhu. He was one of the first emergency responders there, the man people saw in the pink shirt and blue turban.
Ah, right. And what did he say?
Sandhu gave a really powerful account to Alt News. He said he'd just put another victim in an ambulance, turned around, and saw Ramesh near the gate.
Okay.
He said, and I'm quoting roughly here, he went in and then came out again, and that's when I stepped in and got him to an ambulance. Sandhu also described how distressed Ramesh was.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, he said Ramesh had no idea what he was doing, just kept going in and out. They had to tell him to stop, basically drag him away. And that's when Ramesh told him, "My relative is trapped inside. I want to save him."
Oh, man.
And the incredible thing, Sandhu didn't even realize at that moment that Ramesh was the only survivor.
Just saw a man desperately trying to save his family. That completely reframes the whole suspicious video narrative, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It shows how easily these fragmented clips online can twist something, well, heroic or at least deeply human, into something sinister. Our snap judgments rarely capture the real story.
So true.
And that brings us to the aftermath for Vishwas Kumar Ramesh himself. Beyond just surviving and that desperate search, the India Today report really digs into his ongoing struggle. He apparently hasn't been able to sleep, just haunted by the fact he survived and his brother Ajay didn't.
Yeah, that's classic and incredibly difficult survivor's guilt. It's a well-known psychological response.
Explain that a bit more.
Well, it's this profound sense of remorse, sometimes feeling unworthy, that people get when they survive a disaster, and others, especially people they love, don't make it. It can lead to intrusive thoughts, depression, just constantly asking, why me?
Right.
And Ramesh's own words, reported by India Today, really highlight this. "I don't know how I survived, and I still can't believe I'm alive." Being seated right across from his brother probably makes that feeling of maybe responsibility or just sheer randomness even more intense.
And his survival itself was just extraordinary. The details are incredible. Apparently, his seat broke loose in the crash and landed in this narrow gap between buildings. There was loose soil there, which somehow cushioned the impact and saved him from the main fireball.
Unbelievable luck amidst the horror.
Totally. He talked about crawling out of the wreckage, burning his hand on the way. People saw him stumbling barefoot through the debris, shouting in Gujarati, "Plane fatioche! The plane exploded!"
Yeah.
Even then, trying to get back towards the site for Ajay.
Just raw survival instinct and grief mixed together.
But then, as if all that wasn't enough to deal with, this other layer got added, public suspicion and scorn.
Oh, no. Don't tell me.
Yeah. As he's grappling with this immense loss, this completely baseless rumor starts spreading online that he faked being on the flight entirely.
What? How could anyone even think that?
It spread incredibly fast. You know how these things go. Fueled by the sensationalism, maybe those confusing videos played a part initially. Even some public figures jumped on it. Like the actor Suchitra Krishnamurthy posted something. She deleted it later, but questioning his story, even suggesting he needed serious punishment or mental asylum time if he was lying.
That's appalling. Kicking someone when they're already down based on absolutely nothing.
Exactly. And a rumor that he'd been arrested also started doing the rounds.
Just vile. But surely the evidence proving he was there was overwhelming.
Absolutely. Thankfully, yes. The facts came out quickly to counter the nonsense. Hospital records showing his injuries, police confirming his identity, Air India's own passenger manifest with him listed in seat 11A.
Right.
And crucially, video footage showing him actually emerging from the wreckage. The Ahmedabad police commissioner, G.S. Malik, confirmed it. The doctor who treated him, Dr. Deval Gamedi, confirmed he arrived disoriented with multiple injuries.
Okay, good. Official confirmation.
Even top officials, Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, visited him in the hospital. That kind of validated his story very publicly, too.
Still, the fact that he had to endure those rumors on top of everything else, it's a chilling reminder of how quickly online mobs can form an attack, isn't it? Turning empathy into suspicion.
It really is. And the images of him later, bandaged, limping, but carrying his brother Ajay's coffin at the funeral in Diu, side by side with their father, that just powerfully shows the very real human grief he was going through, despite the online noise.
A truly devastating ordeal for him.
So while all this incredibly painful human drama is playing out, there's also the crucial investigation happening in the background, trying to figure out why the plane crashed.
Right, the technical side.
Yeah.
And the key to that is usually the black boxes.
Exactly, the cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder.
Yeah.
And it's always worth reminding people they're actually bright orange, not black. Makes them easier to find. They hold so much vital information.
They really do. They're like the plane's diary. And India's Civil Aviation Ministry confirmed that investigators have started analyzing the data from them.
Who's leading that?
It's India's own Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau, the AAIB. They're the main body for this kind of thing in India. And they're getting support from the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board, the NTSB, who have, tons of experience globally.
So it's a collaborative effort. What are they actually trying to find?
Well, the goal is always twofold, really. First, reconstruct exactly what happened second by second leading up to the crash. And second, identify all the factors that contributed. Could be mechanical, human factors, weather, anything. The ultimate aim, of course, is to learn lessons to make flying safer and prevent something like this happening again.
It's such painstaking work, isn't it, trying to piece together those final moments?
Absolutely. But they found the boxes quickly, which is good, within days apparently, and flew them straight to Delhi under tight security.
Any timeline on when we might know more?
Well, the full investigation, that could take weeks, maybe even months. These things are complex. But there's also a separate high-level committee looking into it, and they're expected to give a preliminary report within about 3 months.
Okay, so some initial findings might come relatively soon?
Possibly. And interestingly, India actually set up a new state-of-the-art lab in Delhi back in April, specifically designed to help repair damaged black boxes and pull the data off them. Pretty timely, unfortunately.
Wow. Yeah. Good foresight, I suppose. And what about immediate actions? With the Dreamliner fleet?
Right. Well, as you'd expect, the authorities didn't wait. They ordered immediate, deeper checks on Air India's entire fleet of 787s, that's 33 planes.
Let's check.
As of late June, they'd already inspected 26 of them. 4 were already down for long-term maintenance anyway, and the last few were due to be checked very soon. So a pretty swift safety response.
That's reassuring.
Yeah, and alongside that, you also hear calls from aviation safety experts for transparency throughout the investigation process, which is always important in cases like this, especially with all the public attention and, well, the misinformation we saw earlier.
Definitely.
So as we sort of wrap up this deep dive, it's clear there are just so many facets to this story, aren't there? You've got the technical crash investigation, the procedures, the black boxes.
Right, the methodical part.
And then you have this incredibly raw, complex, emotional journey of Vishwas Kumar Ramesh, the sole survivor.
Yeah, and his story really hammers home that point about needing verified information, doesn't it? Instead of jumping onto viral speculation and understanding the very human reasons why someone might do something that looks inexplicable at first glance, like trying to run back into a fire.
Absolutely. Which kind of leads to a final thought, maybe, for you listening. In this age where information and bad information just flies around instantly, how do we find the patience, the critical thinking to really try and understand these incredibly complex events, especially the ones that hit us emotionally?
That's a tough question.
It is. What part of this whole incredible, heartbreaking story stands out most to you? Something to think about.